Today we focus on a carnivore that was once considered underpowered and now is considered to be a lot more powerful. This is the Dasp, and the Dasp is definitely a creature that you should fear, especially after the latest update. Not only did a lot of his stats improve, he also has a slightly better moveset that makes him a little bit better than how he was before. And a lot of you guys wanted me to bring back the Is It Worth Growing series, where I talk about if it's worth growing a certain dino or not, based on how it is. We did do the Dasp before, and I did say back then that he was not worth growing. I thought he was very underrated and just very weak compared to other dinos. But now, after the recent update, there has been a lot of improvements on him, so now it's the revival of Is It Worth Growing, and we are talking about the Dasp. So the way this series works is I basically discuss the things I like about the dino, the things I do not like about him, and then I decide at the end if I personally think he's worth your time growing or not, because as you know, growing dinos in this game can be very time consuming, especially on official servers. So the Dasp does have 600 max health, 3,500 combat weight, and 1,080 sprinting speed. That is 80 more sprinting speed than the Allosaurus. After the update, he apparently got a speed buff and he could run a little bit faster than how he used to. And apparently he could run a little bit faster than the Allosaurus. And since the last update, he also had increased health regen, so his health regens a little bit faster. And he has increased stamina regen, where his stamina regens faster. Both of those are really good, so we're going to test out his stamina regen to see if it's actually noticeably different or not. So we emptied our stamina here, we're going to lay it all the way down and see how fast that stamina recovery really is. Okay, it's actually pretty decent. It will take you some time to regain that, so especially if you're in fights and stuff, so keep that in mind. Although it's not the fastest stamina recovery rate, he does have faster stamina recovery than the Allo, the Suko, and the Pycno. And another thing I like about him is his moveset. He now has a lot more options than what he had previously. So for head attack, you have Bite, you have Bone Snap, and they actually added in the Heavy Bite, which is a strong but delayed bite. Before, it used to be a quick bone break bite. I forgot what it was called exactly. I think it was a crushing bite or something like that. And now they changed it to the heavy bite. The heavy bite does 120 damage. That is a lot of damage and definitely something you would want to have on your movesets. His regular bite does 80 damage, and the bone snap can do up to 60 damage with 30-second bone break. All of these are really strong, so you can honestly have any one of these combos and you would do a lot of damage. For hide, you also have two different hides that wasn't here before. So you have resilience scales, which increases bleed and venom healing by 30%, and tough scutes, which increases your armor by 25%. Both of these can be really good, especially if you're dealing with dinos that inflict a lot of bleed or venom. You can put these scales on. If you want to have extra armor, you can put these on. Really personal preference when it comes to that. And then we have legs, which also wasn't here before, and is called traction, which increases your turning speed by 20%, but it decreases your stamina recovery by 30%. For tail, nothing's changed for tail, so you just have the regular tail attack, which does 30 damage, and then you have the balance, which gains you 15% increased turning. And then for voice, you have Tyrant Roar. But overall, they did give him some solid buffs, and I actually really like him now. I always liked the Dasp, I just always wish he was a little bit stronger. Let's discuss the things I do not like about him still. And I would probably say his combat weight. I wish his combat weight was a little bit higher. Right now it's 3,500. I wish it would bring it up to at least 3,750 or 4,000. Just to make him a little bit stronger. I feel like that's probably be the sweet spot, to not make him really OP, but still make him nice and useful in fights and as a predator. And then I guess what I don't like about his moveset, now the Tyrant Roar, normally it used to work even if you're by yourself. You activate the roar, you get increased attack damage. Now, in order for you to get the effects of this roar, you have to be in a group. If you're not in a group and you're just running around solo, activating this roar will not do anything for you now. And I feel like that's kind of a bad thing. It really makes you harder to defend yourself against other prey. But it kind of makes sense because I feel like it's meant to be a group buff. But I used to love it when it worked for me alone. That way I didn't have to group up with people. And then I guess the only other downfall is the traction move. I feel like they could have put something better for the legs. I mean, increased turning speed is alright, but to decrease your stamina by recovery by 30% is pretty drastic. I feel like that's pretty downfall, and I feel like this moveset can really hurt you. So I probably wouldn't use it. But to be honest, I can't really think of anything else that I don't like about it, because now I'm actually really looking forward to using him more. And the question is, do I think it's worth growing? And I will say, last time I said no. This time, I'm going to say yes. I think it's worth growing with his new movesets and how strong they are, and his new hide scales and everything he has. He can definitely be a game changer, especially in packs. But let me know in the comments, do you think it's still worth growing even after the update? And let me know what dino you want me to do next in the Is It Worth It Growing series. This is basically 2.0, so we're going to be redoing all of the dinos again in this series, because I know a lot of changes have been going on with them, so we got to recover it all over again. So let me know what dino you want me to do next. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and see you next time.